So we got a lot of news, boys. A lot of news. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it and hang out. And I'm excited. So as we had spoken earlier, GeForce Now has opened, and it is open to all. So this is article actually coming from GeForce's website by Phil Eisler. So GeForce Now is now open to PC gaming and being accessible to more gamers. They have 1.2 million players that make up the PC world, and it's the world's largest gaming platform. Yet only a fraction that have modern PCs that have the power to play their favorite games. So GeForce Now will let you use the cloud to join in. It has the power to play PC games anywhere on any device, even the billions of devices that aren't game ready. So phones. So cool thing about this works on all Android devices. Now, it was funny. They had someone come up to them and ask them, it's like, well, what about Apple support? It's like, well, ask Apple, because Apple's fucking annoying as shit when it comes to anything like this. So they're probably giving them issues with getting actual fucking support. So you're upgrading to a state-of-the-art gaming rig by virtually adding a GeForce graphics card to your PC, Mac, Shield, or Android phone. Just like the PC, GeForce Now is an open platform. It's powered by our world-class GPU architecture and uses our game-ready drivers for the best performance. And because these are real PC games, GeForce Now gives you the precision of keyboard and mouse gaming as well as optimizations for game controllers. It is an opportunity for you to connect to the millions of gamers online and join your friends in your favorite PC communities. Most importantly, it instantly connects you to the games you already own on digital stores that you own them on, or the latest free-to-play games everyone's playing. So one issue people have with Stadia is you'd have to rebuy all your games. This game, you do not. You just sign into your Steam, Epic, whatever account you have with those services, and it will transfer the license over to your GeForce Now account. You're effectively just getting a server-based or cloud-based instance to play these games on. And you can access it through your phone and all your other shit that you have access to. So they're shooting for 60 plus FPS action, or 60 plus in general. There is a free tier that is $0 a month. You get standard access, and you have you can only do like 1 hour sessions in bursts kind of thing. And then I don't know if there's a cooldown on it, like you can only do it once a day. Let's see what it says actually. We've reached the point in our journey. So free membership provides a 1 hour session with standard access to GeForce Now servers. There's no limit to the number of sessions you can play. So it's kind of like if you were to go on PlayStation and share your game, you know how it gives you like an hour before it shuts off and you have to restart it?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. All GeForce Now beta members automatically have had their beta accounts converted to a free plan. You can simply sign in and continue playing. Gamers can also upgrade to a no-wait, longer session length premium service for $5 a month for 12 months. I don't know if you have to buy 12 months to get the $5 a month price, or if you just go month at a time, if you still get the $5. It will be this rate for all of 2020, probably because it's new. They're trying to get people in, and they might change the prices after the year. Both memberships will work across any supported device that you own, and there's no additional hardware needed. They also have access to RTX, so real-time ray tracing, shit like that, because it is NVIDIA. So super interesting seeing another person jump on the kind of cloud gaming bandwagon. And from what I've heard from people that have played this, beta tested it, it actually works very well. There is still noticeable latency depending on where you are, where you're accessing from. But in regards to actually having games to play and do right off the bat, it works perfectly, because all you do, you literally get your entire library just on the go. You pay $5 a month, and you can play all your games on your PC anywhere else as long as you have an internet connection, which I think is a different approach, where it's not just, here's this thing you can access anywhere, but it's taking your PC and giving it to you anywhere. So extending the boundaries of your PC, which I think is really cool. So you get to keep all your games, play all your games, and you can do this on anything. Like if Sam wanted to go on his Mac and download Dauntless or some shit to try it with GeForce Now, he could. You could get like an hour play session, see how it works, see the latency before he decides if he wants to do the $5 a month to try the premium service.
I actually tried it, and guess what? My internet's so bad I can't even play it.
I wonder what the requirements.
Yep.
I wonder if we have the requirements here for GeForce Now. Right now, it's only available in the U.S. I think it's not available in all countries, but they're working on pushing it out. I wonder what the requirements are. Let's see. GeForce Now internet requirements. It requires at least 15 megabits for 720p at 60 FPS and 25 megabits for 1080p at 60 FPS. So, I don't know what your internet is, Sam, but it probably does not reach that. And this is megabits, not megabytes. I don't know how many megabits. Let's see. 15, or let's see. Megabits, megabytes. Let's see what the difference is. So 1 megabit is 0.125 megabytes. So 15 would only be, it's only 1.8 megabytes. So it's really not that crazy to get 720p. And if you wanted, I thought they said it was like 25 or some shit. 25 megabits is only 3 megabytes. I get 8 megabytes down, and our plan is like a 20-something megabyte service, but we have a bunch of wireless devices that pull down the bandwidth. So when the final thing is the PC test the internet speed, it gets about 8. So that's pretty good. That's less than half of what I get. That's pretty damn good. Now, I don't know if that's for a zero latency experience or if it's for a experience with some latency. I don't know how the latency runs with it. I haven't really seen much, and this article doesn't talk about it because it's just an announcement. It's really new still. But it's definitely cool. And seeing more of this technology in place, just the idea that you can take a shitty laptop and turn it into a gaming rig using the cloud is a really interesting premise. And they make a good point that there's a shitload of people that own PCs, but a small portion of them are actually have the power to play games that they want. Because you can technically, Shawn can go, or Sam can go on his Mac, or Shawn can go on his PC and play like RuneScape maybe, and they're technically considered in the grand scheme a PC player, but they don't have the tech to go out and buy the new Cyberpunk when it comes out and be able to play it on their computers. But with this, you can. So it'd be interesting to see how people adopt this, especially after the failure of Stadia. See if some people kind of have it like there's like a mass exodus out of Stadia into these other services, and see how many people might head over to the cloud. I know you've already said you don't like the idea of it, Shawn, but would you be willing to try it on your computer if you could play with PC players and get like a really good experience with subpar internet?
Maybe, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a permanent
No,
fix.
it'd be like an alternative. That I think that's a lot of what these services are. That like this one, it's not a replacement because it still uses your launchers. It's almost like an extension, and for others, it's an alternative. But this isn't serving to remove your PC because it still uses the launchers that your PC access. So it's almost like, oh hey, you can't be on your PC right now, or you're doing something else. Get on your phone, your Android, and boom, you can play games anywhere, kind of thing. Which sounds really cool on paper. But when it comes to the technical side, it'd be interesting to see how well. I haven't tried this at all. I'm interested to give it a go. If I can get on and play like, I don't know what the fuck I'd play on my phone because it's a small screen, like while I'm at work or something. I don't even know. But if I could play with something like, I don't know, like that farming game or some shit. If I can get that on my phone and just play that at work, and it's just taking my game library from my computer and extending it to the phone, and I can just play it wherever the hell I have a subpar internet speed. That sounds like a really cool idea for stuff that isn't super intensive. Like I won't be sitting on my phone playing CS:GO or some shit. It'd be like the smaller indie titles or turn-based turn-based RPGs or shit like that. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool. We had someone in the IOG community that he actually works for NVIDIA, and he was talking about it. He didn't really know that it was coming out because he works for a different subdivision of NVIDIA, and he's really excited about it. So I'm interested to see where they go with it because it's cheaper than Stadia. You don't have to rebuy your games. It seems like in every way, shape, or form, it is a much better Stadia, and Google just shit their pants. So like you're like, well, why would I not go to this? So I think this might be the Stadia killer, and we might see it kind of float away into obscurity because they're just not supporting and they're pissing their player base off. So. It's
not the Stadia you needed. It's the Stadia you want.
Yeah, and the one you deserve, damn it. So,
yeah.
Especially after spending, oh man, I can't imagine being, I mean, again, early adopters, they signed that invisible contract that you're technically shooting yourself in the fucking foot to get access to this early. So I was thinking the people that spend $130 on those founder editions, they have a controller that literally works on nothing else. I mean, it's a Bluetooth. I wonder if you could use a Stadia controller on your computer. not using Stadia, but just play games with the Stadia controller. I haven't heard anyone talk about that. But that's very nice to see that there is like a legitimate service coming out that uses this technology to its full potential, where people might actually enjoy it, kind of thing. So, but you guys have anything else you want to add before we move on? Any thoughts about this?
No, Stadia's garbage.
Yeah, we've already kind of beat this horse a few times already.
But
so
it's so fun to beat that horse.
Yeah, it is. That horse, hey, it's kind of like a little pinata, a little dead pinata on the floor. You hit it, you get some guts come out of some orifices every once in a while. It's fun.
I wonder what PlayStation's going to be, since PS Now has been such an unpopular beast.
Well, have you heard?
And they've intentionally nerfed the backwards compatibility on the PS4
Have you
to
heard?
support PlayStation Now.
Have you heard that they've changed the PlayStation Now? It's a different plan than what it used to be.
No.
Now they let you download games, so it's almost like a game rental service now. You can download the games, they sit on your system, and you can play them at any point. And you don't have to stream them all the time now. So it's basically
that's much better.
It's basically their answer to Xbox Game Pass. Game Pass, you have access to all these games. You can download them, play them whenever the fuck you want. It's a library of games that you pay every month, and you have access to the whole library, like a Netflix for games. This is their exact answer to what Xbox did with Game Pass. They turned PS Now into that service. So if you have anything on PS Now you want to play, you download it, you play it. It works just like if you were to buy it, have a physical disc in your system, and you have it. The moment you stop paying for the service or whatever, those games can stay on your system. You just lose access to them. You lose the license to play them.
If they'd only just let you have buy the games.
I wonder if they do. Let me see.
No, I guarantee you they don't.
Because I know they have older games on there. Can you buy PS Now games? Let's see. I haven't used this service at all. You cannot buy games with PS Now. It's a rental streaming service. Okay. Think of PS Now like Netflix. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that does suck. Because you're right. They did really... And it's interesting seeing that they've listened to people. And now this new system will have... It's all rumored. We don't really know for sure. But it should be having backwards compatibility all the way... Didn't they say all the way to PS1? So you can play any game that's ever existed on a PlayStation on the 5?
Yeah, there's one system that I think it's the possibly the PlayStation 2 that they're thinking may not be initially available because they're still trying to push PlayStation Now.
Huh. But I still think
if they make it backwards compatible, then you'll be able to play all the games you own instead of having to buy licenses to rent them.
Yeah. I'm wondering at this point with all these advancements, why are we even numbering these systems anymore? It should just be called I mean, I guess it still makes sense. Although Xbox completely threw out that window when they made the Xbox One again. Now, what are they going to call it? The Xbox 2? It's like, but I don't know what the fuck the next thing's going to be. I think, it's called the one that they showed off is the Series X one, the really nice one that's basically a pre-built PC. Is that the only Xbox they're releasing, or are they going to be releasing a lower budget system as well? I don't know if they've said anything about that. Well, let us know if you guys know listening in, because we don't know. We're not, what's the word? Omniscient. So.
I mean, you aren't.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, no. You listen to one episode and you fucking know that. So I hope you're not coming here for that.
I'm omniscient.
Yeah, okay. What's the square root of a fucking...
Yes.
6 billion? You're right. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay. So I personally really like the idea of having streaming as an alternative, just because it serves as a way to get more people into games that might have not wanted it prior. Like if you told someone, oh, yeah, this is Netflix, but you can play games on it, and you don't need to have a console. They're like, oh, shit, I don't got to buy a console and I can still play game. I've never touched a game before. Let me get on there and play like Sims 5 or whatever the fuck. Like, cool. And then that starts that journey. And I think that's kind of cool. It's the same approach I have when it comes to like dubbing for anime. I don't personally enjoy it or make it my main way I consume that media or whatever. Medium. But if that gets someone in, like gets their first door, the crack cocaine addiction starts because of that dubbed My Hero episode or whatever the fuck, and then they decide to seek out more of it, then I'm down for that. If it's bringing people in, it makes the barrier to entry a little bit wider or a little bit lower, whatever. I think that's dope. So if this serves the same purpose and we get a whole new set of people into video games just because of this, that's kind of fucking cool, and I'm excited for that.
That does make me wonder how many new fans to anime just because of My Hero and how that compares to what Naruto did.
Yeah, because we
Or
are
Dragon
definitely
Ball.
in like a whole new generation of shonen, and so there's people that, oddly enough, as much as it sounds like they'll probably know of Naruto but have not seen Naruto, and they're growing up with My Hero instead. And I mean, like, Naruto wasn't bad, and I don't know how long My Hero will go for, but it's kind of cool thinking that we're like bridging generations at this point. Like, if a father that grew up watching Naruto sits down to watch My Hero with his son, we have like a shonen generational gap being bridged, and I think that's really fucking dope. And I mean, I think My Hero is much better than Naruto, in regards to like certain elements, and Naruto has its pros and its years of filler and all that other bullshit. Hopefully, My Hero does not fall to that fate. But it's just cool to think. And one day I will sit down with my little boy or little girl and show them anime. And the first show that they will watch will be Boku no Pico. And then we'll move from there. And
Then they'll never watch another anime again.
why does your child shake when they hear Japanese speak? I don't fucking know.
I've got to be honest with you, man. I still think that ecchi, no Kaiser or whatever, the fucking breast milk one is worse than Boku no Pico.
What was that called? Let me
Boku
see.
no Pico was just gross.
Yeah,
The
I
fucking
think
breast milk one, like you felt dirty just watching it.
I think the thought of what's going on in Boku no Pico's just, it makes you feel like you need to take a shower because it's technically an
that's
old
true.
man fucking a little boy, and you're just like, I don't need that in my life right now.
Do they ever actually tell you how old the kid is?
No idea. Well, let's see. Titty, milk, drinking.
No, I'm talking about Boku no Pico.
Yeah, I know. Drinking. I haven't watched Boku no Pico, so I wouldn't fucking know. I just know what it is. Saikon no Quasar. Quasar?
That's it. Psycho no Quasar.
Yeah. What's the name of the anime where you power up by drinking breast milk?
I just remember one time
Shawn.
I was on iFunny.
There's
And there was
another
a-
one. Shinju no
About breast milk?
Nectar. Power up through drinking breast milk in this new manga.
Oh god.
Oh my god. The first volume was released. Oh, it was in 2017.
If they play it for comedy, that'd be different. You know, you might be able to pull that off. But Seika no Quasar comes off exactly like a demon rape hentai film. Except the fucking hero drinks titties. Like he just sticks a titty in his mouth, and the bad guys stop and wait while he drinks breast milk. And I literally because I told you it was a fucking bet between me and my friend who could come up with the worst fucking anime, and he beat me.
Damn.
He beat me. My next volley at him was Boku no Pico.
Damn.
That was my next thing to hit him with because I didn't beat him with the first thing. And he fucking hit me with Seikon no Quasar, and I couldn't finish it. I think I made it to the 4th or 7th episode, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I can feel myself getting stupider by the minute.
Body just
Like
I was screaming
like,
to be ripped like inside out
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, just please reverse my existence.
I was like, can I please just go back in time and abort?
I wish to not feel
I do that?
anymore. I wish to no longer exist.
It's so bad.
I
I
drink
remember,
titty
like,
milk, therefore I am.
It's just insane. It's insane how serious it takes itself. It's insane how it's still trying to be like titillating. It's insane how just absolutely much it hates women in a way that like bothers me. Just like women in that show are there for tits and breast milk, and they're all stupid. And like all the it's so fucking, and everything is rapey.
I just imagine it being like,
oh god,
like you imagine Goku when Krillin gets blown up and he starts to go Super Saiyan 1 and shit. I just imagine it being like that same exact moment in the show.
Get them tits over here.
Titty in mouth. Stat. I need to power up. Damn. Start sucking.
It was fucking just so bad.
I never thought the idea of sucking milk out of a boob to be sexually appealing. I mean, boobs in and of themselves are sexually appealing, depending on the type of person you are. Some people
imagine the reverse.
What? Oh, dude, we need that. So, can you get milk out of a male titty?
Well, not Not the male, but she'd have to suck something else.
Oh, he's talking about sucking cock.
Oh, there's a hentai that exists somewhere that's like that.
There's like 100.
Isn't that like the whole thing behind a succubus? Like, don't they get power from semen or some shit?
No,
they
it's
get
the
power from-
sexual energy.
Yeah.
Sexual energy. So what is
Yeah.
that if not cum?
It's not fluid. It's just like the whole like.
They fuck you to death.
Where can I find one?
Yeah.
Big
Essentially.
big titty succubus GF, please. That's funny. So they don't even need the baby batter. They just fucking keep going till you're dead.
No, not usually. There's been a few hentai where the baby batter was a factor.
I
but
dead ass
not
just thought
usually.
that's what they used for life force or sort of shit. I didn't know.
No, they're vampires.
And
but
then an
instead
incubus is just a male
instead
version,
of
right?
blood, it's
Okay.
instead of blood, they siphon your life force. But
Through
they
sex.
do that through getting you horny.
Huh.
But they're not. They
Who's the
don't.
absolute
It's not like they
mastermind?
get off on it.
Who's the mastermind that thought that shit up, bro?
Well,
like,
succubus originally didn't have to.
Vampires, but
they
they're
didn't even-
horny. Please.
They did it through dreams, and like the
Ooh.
old myths, there's one that drained your energy through dreams. There's another one that did. I think it was Dermandahak. It was Dutch or something, but it was
Trace back
I
to
think an old
medieval
woman
legend.
who would stand outside your door and siphon your life force as you slept,
Oh damn!
and
look at
then
this.
eventually it evolved into a lascivious kind of thing.
So this is a 16th century sculpture representing a succubus. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now.
I've more than likely seen it before.
That girl got
Yeah.
the fucking implants, bro. God damn. It's like they took a male statue and just put like tumors of boob on where the where the titty goes. All right. Fuck. Where news. Okay. So yeah, hyped to see more come out of streaming. Let's move forward though. So I don't know why it took so fucking long for it to finally happen, but I'm assuming it's because of the crackdown we've seen for other countries' take on loot boxes as a whole. But IFA has been hit with a lawsuit. IFA, I meant EA.
FIFA. Because of
EA,
FIFA.
Kyle,
EA
you
has-
just stay away from words.
IFA's
Words in
fuck.
general.
Stop, shut up. EA has been hit with a FIFA 20 lawsuit that claims that the Ultimate Team mode, which is the card-based loot box mode, is considered gambling. And I bet you this came because of the backlash to the Overwatch loot boxes and all the loot boxes as they've continued. So it's funny. It started with FIFA and EA, and it's coming back to bite them in the ass, bro. I mean, they've made billions of dollars off it from now, so I'm sure they're really not all that mad. So now there's a lawsuit coming towards FIFA 20, claiming that the Ultimate Team mode is gambling. This is coming from evostrix.com by Jay Nyla. That's the name of the author. But two legal suits have been
Sure
filed.
it is.
What happened?
Sure it is. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Two legal suits have been filed against the makers of the popular video game FIFA, arguing that the game mode Ultimate Team should be classified as a form of gambling. According to L'Equipe, L'Equipe, it's French. I don't know. L'Equipe. I don't know what the fuck that is. The two Parisian lawyers. Okay, they're okay, whatever. Karim Morand Lacroix. I'm being attacked here, bro. And Victor.
You want me to read it? I can read French stuff.
And Victor Zagari are taking on the gaming giant in an effort to highlight the risk attached to the players of the FIFA Ultimate Team. Game mode has been apart since 2009, and in France alone, EA makes hundreds of thousands of euros a year. The legal duo are arguing that in order to win in this game mode, you have to pay and gamble, which is true. It's like a card game. It's effectively how all trading card games work. That could include any player available in the game. While EA Sports has many titles to its name, FIFA stands out for the corporation, both in popularity and in monetization. In recent years, many in the gaming community have complained that FIFA Ultimate Team favors the rich, those who are willing to spend the most cash, often obtain the best players. One of these lawyers discussed the lengths players go in order to obtain their dream team. He revealed that the client that he had spent about $663 in 5 months without receiving a big player. Imagine that luck, bro. Fuck. He places the blame on EA for creating a game mode with such addictive tendencies that states that they are integrating gambling into the title. Now, much as that is true, like I mean, I guess if it's an addictive high you're getting, I'm trying to figure out like how much of the fault is on each side here, because they didn't put a gun to his head and made him spend $600. but he can be easily prone to addictive tendencies, which is bad. But he could just as easily not be and just be a dumbass as well. So like that's kind of a weird gray area. But I mean, it's still EA's fault they have it. It shouldn't exist in the game. You should have another way of doing it. But it's still weird. That was the same issue we had with people blaming companies that like Fortnite's addictive. We had that article not too long ago, and it's like, I mean, they're not really holding a gun to your head. You might just be a bad fucking parent, and you're not stopping your kid from playing video games. That's not their fault. They haven't kidnapped you and forced your kid to play Fortnite in a chair for 3 weeks just because you don't want to give him attention and give little Johnny and go play outside with little Johnny every once in a while just because he decided to spend that time with Fortnite. That's not necessarily Epic's fault. But here, I mean, it's a little different. L'Equipe, or whatever, also spoke to FIFA gamer Mamadou, who said that FIFA Ultimate Team addiction has caused him to fall behind on rent. Jesus. Yet despite spending hundreds of euros on the game, the best player he received was Napoli's defender, Manolis. I don't know. He reiterated the claim.
Hundreds of years on the game.
What?
Despite spending hundreds of years on the game.
Did I say years? I meant euros.
You did.
Whatever. The best player he received was Napoli's defender, Manolis. He reiterated the claim that the game is addictive. You quickly become addicted. This is him. You quickly become addicted to this game whenever I buy a pack. I tell myself this is the last time, but I always do it again. I get so frustrated when you don't get good enough players that you buy again and again. So that's the basis. So now they're
still his fault.
Yeah, I think
EA doesn't have a soul, and it's abusing their platform, but it's still his fault.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, at what point do you consider when there is addictive tendencies at play? Because if someone goes out and gets drunk and then gets into an accident, it's still the drunk person's fault. You're not blaming the alcohol company because they pursued those addictive tendencies. So
that's the thing, man. Like, I agree that they're foul and awful, and we should as a consumer group, we should do something about it. But I do not believe that EA is culpable in a legal sense. I mean, I think as a whole, we need to take a real fucking hard look at how we market things.
Yeah, I think
as
that
people, like, a corporation is responsible for having a soul. I mean, granted, its allegiance is to the almighty dollar, and there's a reason for that, and that's not a bad thing at all. You know, like, you're obviously trying to make a profit, but by manipulating brain chemistry, I mean, fuck, all businesses do it. I think I told you before, McDonald's interior has been
we'd spoke
designed.
about it.
Yeah. So when everything that you're doing is designed around programming and psychologically manipulating people into giving you their money, there's a fucking problem. And of course, any kind of ad kind of thing is going to be relying on human behavior, and it's not exactly fair to tell a company, oh, well, you can't, put up food advertisements everywhere right after a ball game or something, because that people might be a little peckish, and it's going to draw them to come to your place for some chicken McNugs. Instead of going home and eating something healthier.
Nuggets and tendies.
You can't go after them like that. Like, they have to be able to do that in order for businesses to really thrive. But to sit there and make something that really fucking intrinsically relies on fucking with human programming, the way that the brain works, is foul. But I don't know. I mean, the problem with the lawsuit isn't so much that I believe that it's wrong, but it sets a precedent. And then all of a sudden companies can be culpable for things that they just have zero control over.
I mean, as long as they keep it away from damages in spending, and it's just the fact that it's gambling. Because the main proponent that they're pushing is the idea that it is gambling, which that is 100% true, and it exists in a game that there is gambling, and we don't like gambling in video games. This whole reason loot boxes are bad, all this other stuff. So it makes sense. If this gets loot boxes out of FIFA, then I think we're sitting at a win. As long as, like you're saying, it isn't going to the point it's like, oh, well, now I want all the money I spent on your loot boxes back. Like, no, that was your fault. You fucked that up. Now, we won in the terms of gambling. This isn't right. They shouldn't have it there. This is rated E for everyone. Like, this is a PEGI 3, bro. 3 and up. Like, so your 3-year-old, if he somehow found a credit card, can get on here and buy 1,000,000 packs or whatever the fuck. Like, that's the problem, especially people that are aging and growing. But you 23-year-old behind on your fucking rent because you decided to spend $700 on a video game for fucking cards. That's not necessarily EA's fault. So I get 100% what you're saying. But I hope, again, it's so nice seeing all this backlash against loot boxes. In like Belgium, they're completely outlawed. So you can't do anything in regards to loot box in Belgium. In fact, the stuff that is loot boxes now, every loot box gives you the same shit. It's crafting materials. So like in Apex, if your region's set to Belgium, every time you open up a loot box that they have, you get the same stuff. It's always crafting materials. So you can just buy whatever the hell you want. So it's almost like it's a la carte. If you need more crafting materials, you just buy a bunch of loot boxes and you know every time you'll get the same amount of crafting materials because that's how they work around it because it's like built into the game. So... And I think, I don't know how it works with Overwatch per se, because I know they still have loot box in Overwatch. As much as people have been outlawing them, they might in those countries maybe let them buy crafting materials or some shit. They might do it the same way. I have no idea. But seeing more pushback again, this is good. If you're going to monetize your game, that's fine. We have no issue here. We have no fucking issue with you further monetizing your game and you want further support, further funding. That's completely fucking fine. Just do it in a way that's not predatory. We said it a million times, and we'll be fine with what you do. COD, I think, took a good approach with this. Everything's a la carte. They have bundles that you can buy. Now, some people are kind of sad that they have certain stuff that normally exists in the game in these pay bundles, like kill trackers and shit like that. That's a different talk altogether about how being able to monetize games like this has made stuff not as cool anymore in video games. And that'd be a discussion for another time, but... I think this is a win, and if this does go through and they do get hit with this, then hopefully we'll see less of this from EA moving forward, and they're going to lose a huge cash cow if they can no longer do these card things. They'll probably still have them in some degree, but maybe you could buy the cards, or they'll have them like where you can work towards them. I don't know how the fuck they'd manage that. That'd be up to them. But they would lose literally like millions and tens of millions of dollars like monthly from this shit, because this is one of their hugest fucking sources of income is the Ultimate Team stuff in FIFA, which blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind that someone
with the 2K.
Yeah, well, someone will come home, sit on their couch, play a soccer game, and spend $600 on cards in a soccer game. Like, that blows my fucking mind that there are people that exist.
That gives me anxiety.
Like, it's just insane.
Jeez, dude.
Oh.
I gotta back you up on that, Sam. That's definitely fucking an anxiety, and dude, just even thinking about it.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy.
I know a guy that I worked with who he was like 55, and he's a hardcore soccer fan. He's been a soccer fan his entire life, and he bought a fucking a console just to play FIFA, and he was going to therapy for addiction because he couldn't stop himself from buying player packs.
That's insane.
And he said he spent the year prior, he spent $6,000 on it.
That's fucking insane.
That 1 year he had spent $3,000 already just to get his team together. And I was like, why? I don't understand. Nothing you're telling me is making any sense at all. What language are you speaking?
My biggest question to those people is like, when the new game comes out, then what? You restart? You just fucking go and buy a bunch more cards? Do they like link?
Yes.
What the fuck?
No.
That blows my mind that you'd sit there.
Yeah.
Those people don't. Those have to be NPCs or some shit. Those aren't real people. We're living in a simulation.
People,
those are NPCs, bro. I can't accept the fact that that's a real life person. That blows my fucking mind. Same thing with the dude. Now you're saying, oh, it's because it's sports. Same thing with the motherfucking dude that spent $40,000 on Fate, the mobile game. Like, I had the same exact feelings towards that man. Like, how the fuck do you exist? You are an NPC.
My
bro.
prediction is that he's an oil baron or something. He
He must
lives in Saudi Arabia,
or he's blowing through credit cards.
Likes anime girls, and he
at least he'll keep that shit. He doesn't have to restart every fucking year like you do in FIFA. If that's the case, that blows my mind, dude. Fuck. Imagine being that like. Yeah, no, I just play FIFA. Like, what are all these cool experiences that you'll remember for years and years? He's like, no, I spend $6,000 buying cards every year. Yeah. What about God of War? No. I like playing my sports game. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's weird. That's just something I can't wrap my head around. But
I'm like, dude, I don't fucking. How do you eat?
I eat all the bad FIFA cards, right? So like all the ones I can't use on my team, I eat them.
Yeah, I use it as DoorDash critics.
Oh my
Oh,
god, that's
Jesus.
fucking insane. All right. So moving forward, we have now recently there's been a lot of talk about delays coming from Ubisoft. We're not gonna sit on this too long because we don't give a fuck about Ubisoft. But Ubisoft has promised that we'll be seeing 5 AAA games before 2021. This is from Wesley Yinpool from Eurogamer. It says Ubisoft's promised 5 AAA games before 2021, one of which is reportedly a new Far Cry. Oh my god, it's like a surprise. New Far Cry coming, guys? No one would have fucking guessed that. In a financial call this evening, the company said, well, this was February 6th, but a financial call, the company said 3 of those games will launch in the third quarter of the next financial year, October to December 2020, and 2 will launch in the fourth quarter, January to March 2021. 3 of the confirmed ones that we know are Watch Dogs, obviously, that one got pushed back, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. So there'll be another 2 outside of that, one of them being a Far Cry. So there's one hidden game.
Have they said if the Rainbow Six game is going to be a normal Rainbow Six game?
Well, in Siege, they have a game mode that was based on that called Quarantine. It was a cooperative zombie game. And that's what this game is, Quarantine.
Oh, see, that I could get into.
Yeah, that'd
but
be kind of
it's still
pretty
not
cool.
Rainbow Six.
No, it's not. It's not. It was, at least the game mode when I played it was in no way tactical. It was like Left 4 Dead, but slower, and then you had Rainbow Six characters. Now, it was cool because there was like special infected, and they had different ways to get rid of them, and there'd be like some elements where you're pushing through a city and some elements where it's wave-based, and it was really cool. So it makes a good premise for an actual game if it's done well, but it's in no way like the Vegas games or shit like that. No, unfortunately
God,
not.
they were so good, man.
Yeah, and as
do you have any idea how much fun it would be? It would be like playing that MOBA, only it would be get like 4 of us in there, and we have all got different operatives, and we've got different loadouts. Like I handle the fucking doors, and you handle the fucking windows, and then we got a sniper specialist who's always positioned high, and we communicate online. That's so fucking virtual. It's so there.
yeah. Also,
Like I can't.
there's
It just
also
makes me so sad that they've thrown that entire experience away.
There's also rumors that the next Assassin's Creed will be Vikings themed, which is kind of cool. I've lost all
Assassin's Creed.
I've lost
Doesn't
all
make
hope.
sense to me.
I've lost all hope for Assassin. Yeah, like what Vikings were assassins, bro? These things ran around and raped and
There were
pillaged.
assassins. There were assassins in Viking time, but it's like, look, what are you gonna do? You gonna creep around in the mountains or whatever? I mean,
Look at
I mean,
Iceland
no,
and see how much you can hide behind.
first
I
off,
don't think they're trying to
first of all,
tie it with a story.
do it in Japan.
Yes, please. Can we get a Japanese? Why is that taking so long to get a Japanese Assassin's
Obvious
Creed?
thing in the world. Like, just do a freaking Japanese Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's right there. You have historical figures. You have plenty of source material. I mean, it's so obvious that it frustrates me that they're not doing this. And they said,
problem is at this point, I don't even want one because I know it's not going to be an assassin game. It's going to be these weird pseudo RPG fucking games that they've been making. And I hate the way they do them. You're not an assassin anymore. You just have the name of an assassin and you go around beating the fuck out of people. In these games, there are people you cannot one-shot because their level's too high. So how are you an assassin if you go up to a dude, poke him in the neck, and he throws you off of him? You're not a trained assassin. You're a fucking street thug that just goes around and beats up people. That's not an assassin.
Well, I mean, an assassin, you're thinking the romantic term of assassin. Like an assassin can easily be somebody. All an assassin is someone who's paid to kill someone or sets out to kill someone. To assassinate somebody, you don't have to be stealthy and sneaky.
I know, it's just cooler that way. God damn it.
Well, no, I admit that. But I think the vehicle that Assassin's Creed was, they lost it right around the time of between Assassin's Creed 3 and like 2 games later. They just lost it. And they started doing something original by having you play as a Templar and building on the mythos a little bit. But it's like they jumped the shark and they kept. They're
Now,
like, all right,
was,
this time it's this country. This time it's this time
3
period.
was Civil
and
War?
that's cool. Whatever it was. Like
it's what
the point was,
Indian dude, right? Or American Indian
Yeah.
dude? Okay.
Yeah. No, it wasn't
Native
Civil War.
American.
It was Revolutionary War.
That's yeah.
But that one it started the departure. It played differently than any of the ones before, and I get it. They were trying to shake things up a bit. But what they originally had envisioned for 3 was continuing the world they had spent so much time building in 2. because 2 really blew the doors off. Like 1 was super repetitive. Like the amazing thing about 1 was the visuals, like seeing all these really cool places from history recreated as closely as they could, recreating figures as closely as they could, sticking you into these like essential parts of history. It was really interesting, and they just blew the doors off with 2. And 2 isn't just a great game. It was also almost like an art piece. And I really enjoyed going and visiting these cathedrals and historic sites and doing all this side content and exploring the world of Assassin's Creed. And it was fascinating. And all this stuff they tied in with like Henry Ford as a Templar and all the letters you read. It was just so well done. And then they expanded on it with the 2 basically expansions where you played through Ezio during 2 other phases of his life. And then the 3rd came out and they dumped all of it. In the 3rd one, they killed the protagonist. They fucking launched off in a totally different direction. They abandoned the storyline exploring the aliens that had come to Earth and given us this tech. They completely dropped that. And then I don't know where things went from there, because 3 just lost me. But what they were originally going to do with 3 was they were going to set it in the I don't remember what his name was, but the protagonist from the first 2 games, they were going to set it in his timeline. So he was going to be an assassin going up against the guys who made the Abstergo.
Yeah.
And you were going to be they had said that they were thinking of either setting it in that city where you'd be hitting different locations a la Grand Theft Auto, like a free roaming city where you'd be going and accomplishing things, or else just going from location to location. But you'd be like scaling these mega skyscrapers, or else set the entire game inside of a city that's inside of a building, like a mega structure. And like, so there'd be plenty of the parkour that it's famous for and all the cool assassin things, but they'd be able to set you in an environment you aren't familiar with. So the downside would be is we wouldn't be dancing around in history, or maybe only half of the game would be in history and the other half would be fighting around in the future. But the upside would be it would be challenging the player with this interesting notion of the future, because we really don't know what the future is like that he lives in. And I was so excited to do that. And then they fucking did the Revolutionary War. I'm like, oh, great. It's another going back into the past. And then I remember joking around with somebody like, well, let's see how many fucking other time periods they can hit. We could. Yep. They're just like French Revolution, check. This other revolution, check. Now they're like, we'll do Vikings. Why not? I think setting it in Western Europe and the Americas made sense. When in the second one they implied that there were assassins in Egypt, there were assassins in Japan, there were assassins in China. They implied that the Templar Assassin War had been going on for fucking ever. So, I don't know. I just think that they got sidetracked with just the idea of assassins versus Templars and abandoned a universe that was so lovingly crafted for so long. It just kind of broke me away from it.
Yeah, I don't care about Ubisoft anymore. After all this, all their reskins and stuff, but it's interesting to see what there's still this mystery game, and I wonder if it'll be a Splinter Cell game. And as much as I would like to see it, I would also not like to see it, because they've destroyed everything I know and love that came out of them originally. So if it is Splinter Cell, I hope they don't poop on this game. If it's like a Splinter Cell and it's like a live service RPG stealth game or some shit, I'm gonna fucking throw something out a window. Like,
It's sad because Microsoft, one of the reasons why it succeeded, the Xbox specifically, wasn't just Master Chief. It was also because of the Tom Clancy games, specifically Splinter Cell. Was a huge reason that people loved Xbox. Like, that was one of the things when I would sit there and go away, Sony this and Sony that, they'd be like, yeah, but I got Splinter Cell and I've got Halo and these games are fucking awesome. And Splinter Cell was a killer app for its time.
Yeah.
So to step on that legacy is ridiculous.
Yeah, they also said no Beyond Good and Evil 2 this year, so I think I said that earlier.
That game has been delayed for 20 years. Like it's going to beat fucking Duke Nukem.
No, yeah, it's Star Citizen is gonna come out before fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2 comes out. Also, this is another small story, real quick. That the Outer Worlds switchboard has been delayed due to the coronavirus because it's being handled by Virtuos, which is a development studio based in Singapore, and they have offices across China and shit. So, for like health precautions, the studio is shut down, so it's gonna delay the Switch port. They haven't said till when, but it's
I don't know. That's a good reason to.
Yeah.
You know, I find that more encouraging than the fact that them pushing it out and putting those employees at risk.
Yeah. Interestingly, though, I wonder how it will run because Outer Worlds isn't like the prettiest game, but it's got a lot going on. So I wonder how that will run on the Switch. But finally, our last news story of tonight or today. So we talked last week about Warcraft 3. And the little fuck up that happened, little fuck up that happened, and so Blizzard themselves has responded to a fuck up, Shawn. And I want you to take a guess. How do you think they handled this response?
I'm gonna take shittily for 100.
Okay, shittily for 100. We'll go ahead and now let's go ahead and take a look at it. So
yeah, let me know, Alex.
So this is on the Warcraft 3. Or basically the Blizzard forums. So they came out. We have Kai Vax, which is a community manager for the Warcraft 3 Reforged, says, "Hail War 3 players. We have been following the discussions the past couple days and want to thank you for your feedback as well as your support. First off, we want to say we're sorry.
Support?
We want to say, this is the kicker. We want to say we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted. And we'd like to share."
Oh, God. I don't understand. I can hear the pitchforks being sharpened now.
And we'd like to share...
you motherfucker!
We'd like to share our plans for what's next. There were a few hours during launch day where we expected server load issues that impacted players' abilities to jump right in, but we were able to resolve those later in the day. Oh, I don't give a shit. And before we go on, the team is excited that Warcraft 3 Reforged is finally upon us, and we're fully committed to supporting the game for a long time to come, also known as patching and fixing all the bullshit that's broken. The next few patches and updates we'll discuss below are part of the ongoing plans. The game is an integral part of Blizzard DNA, even though we didn't give enough of a shit to make it pretty enough or whatever, or make it as it was advertised. With the team that loves Warcraft 3, and we're looking forward to...
We're sorry you didn't get the experience. I'm sorry, wait a minute. We're sorry you didn't get the experience you wanted.
Yeah.
Translate to, we're sorry you didn't get the experience of Warcraft 3.
That you paid for.
Yeah, or the one that it's always been.
Yeah. Fuck. One of the concerns with Reforged that we've seen are the visuals when selecting classic mode. That's not important. It's talking about playing the original. Talking about another feature is online features such as leaderboard and clans, which applies to all Warcraft 3 players, including those who haven't purchased Reforged. BlizzCon, we talked a lot with how the team actively working on standing up back end to ensure a smooth transition to the new MMR system, like we did with StarCraft Remastered. As with Remastered, these and other features will be included in a major patch for Reforged, which will also address the issue for players of the original game.
StarCraft was handled extremely differently.
Yeah, there are some individual concerns. Heads up, very low usage. Okay, rule sets, don't give a shit. Okay, related to that, as we talked about last year at BlizzCon, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game. We went a little deeper into the thought process behind that at the show, but the main takeaway is that the campaigns tell one of the classic stories in Warcraft history, and we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive these unforgettable moments as they were,
albeit optional,
albeit rebuilt with new animations and higher fidelity art. We know this update doesn't address all questions, but we're committed to the development and support of this game, and we hope you'll keep an eye out for the next week's patch, blah, blah, blah. Sincerely, the team. So, yeah, but that's the big kicker. So we've had not only two major fuck-ups from Blizzard, we've had two shitty apologies for Blizzard, because we all know the Blitzchung situation happened back then, and they issued a formal apology at BlizzCon when it started and said, fuck all, basically. Now, they're saying a little bit more here than fuck all. There's still this heavy, almost passive-aggressive attitude.
Condescending.
Yeah, looking down on, or like, oh, we're sorry we're sorry, not sorry, basically. Like, it's a sorry that you had a bad experience, even though the experience...
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like, I'm not sorry that I did something bad. I'm sorry that you took it that way, kind of thing. And that's not being sorry. That is not an apology in any way, shape, or form. You go up to anyone, if you accidentally fuck over someone's day or do something bad, and you go up to anyone and tell them that you're sorry that they feel that way, you're not going to make them feel better.
In the nose.
You're not going to fucking make them feel better. You need to start treating communities as people, because that's what they're comprised of, companies. We're not talking to fucking... Although there are some people that took this as good. We have in the comments below, some people are okay with this. But again, sheeple exist, so fine.
Yeah, for instance, FIFA.
But with this, they've also
2K.
started to issue instant refunds for people that request them. So that's nice. They're allowing people to get their money back. Where prior to, they were just banning people even talking about it on the forums. So that's good to hear. But it's just like, this is a awful, piss poor apology as to what's going on. Releasing, over promising, and under delivering a game, and it's just Jesus. So
it's fucking Blizzard. What do you want?
Yeah,
that's what Activision does.
But a lot of the people in the comments are complaining that they didn't address a lot of stuff. They didn't address the EULA changes at all. The idea that whatever you make in their system is no longer yours; it's all theirs. They own the rights to everything created in the thing, which isn't anywhere like what it was originally back in the day. They didn't address any of that. They didn't address any poor optimization. The only thing they really talked about was the online features and stuff like that. And the cutscenes were addressed at least, but they addressed them in a way that's kind of dumb. So they didn't want in-game cutscenes to steer too far away from the original game. Then why would you advertise them steering away from the original game? And just because they look nicer doesn't mean you're steering away from their purpose or intention. You're just changing the way they're being presented.
You tell the same story. I mean, it's easy to keep the story intact. You keep the dialogue the same, and you fucking just completely reanimate it. What? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't fucking know either. It's really weird, and it feels like this dude, although he may be on the team, he's a community manager, so they might have been one of those things. It's like, okay, here's what you're going to talk about. So I don't necessarily blame him. It's more of the team as a whole, and it's usually the case when it comes to these community managers. But it's just I really don't know what they're doing over there, man. And it really has shown a lot of people that the Blizzard that we currently have is the one that people grew up to love, and it's put a sour feeling in a lot of people's mouths, especially with all this and one of their, according to them, being integral, but not enough for them to actually make a decent product. And just a lot of people not happy with Blizzard at the moment. And I was just going to leave the update to the story because we did see them actually come out. And yeah, but it's nice that they're offering the refunds. So they are caving in to the complaining. It took them a while, took them a few days, see if they're probably going to try and see if they can get away from it like they have before. Like, oh, hey, we condemned human rights on TV. Oh, Blizzard 4. Oh, and I guarantee you none of this is going to matter when I said Blizzard 4, Diablo 4.
Yep.
Whatever. And I guarantee you when Diablo 4 does release, none of this will be in the forefront of the conversation. It's going to be the fact that Diablo 4 is out and everyone's going to be pre-ordering and buying it, and everyone's, oh, I love Blizzard, man. I'll take my babies kind of thing. And no one's going to give a fuck about all these anti-consumer practices they've had in just the last year. Like, so it's going to be interesting. Also, there was one of the Gears of War devs did leave their team to go work with on the Diablo team, so that's interesting. But I hopefully for them, I mean, I hope Activision falls apart because they're really fucking disconnected from their communities and the people that they're trying to make products for at this point. But I hope for the fans that Diablo 4 is good. I mean, and they enjoy it, but I'm at the point where I will not support this company again. I just have, I don't care enough about it to even have the discussion that I'd like to play these games anymore. I tried WoW just to play with Nick because he's a crackhead for it, and I enjoyed some of the time I had. There's a lot of issues with BFA when it launched, and it kind of just wasn't fun, and I eventually just went back to Final Fantasy, who, for the most part, actually gives a shit about their community. Like, haven't really had any issues with them. They actually care and love their community and shit like that. And that's kind of a nice feeling to have. And that's why the community is so nice and stuff. So I'll steer away from Active Blizzard for a while, and just kind of let them do their own thing. But the more we hear of this, the more people are going to lose. And at one point, if the sheeple start to wake up, then we'll get to a point where they're going to get a huge financial slap to the face when they release a huge project and it doesn't do very well. But until we get to that point, I don't see these practices changing at all. So maybe Diablo 4 might be the thing to break the camel's back.
I hope so. I really do, because I have a lot of good memories playing Diablo 3 with my dad, and I showed him a new trailer, and he's really excited about Diablo 4. I really want, Blizzard to come through and give me a good game, because, I don't know, just the legacy of that game, because I didn't play the original first two, but 3 was, as much as 3 was a, more casual experience, I still have good memories in that game, so I really hope 4 does something good, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel you. So that's an update to that story, but that's most of our show, pretty much. Kind of chill. But really nothing like game shattering coming out. I'm just really excited as we get closer and closer and closer to all these games. I think the next major release is what's it called? With the house on the island with the animals.
You mean Animal Crossing?
Yeah, isn't that the next major game? End of March?
Well, Persona 5 Royale comes out into March.
Okay.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus comes out March 3rd.
Okay, so March is pretty big. I'm not gonna touch Grand Blue or Royale because I've already played Persona. But Scramble, when does Scramble come out? Scramble come out before Royale or after?
Ooh, the Japanese version comes out the 20th.
All right, it will be
of February.
Be released February 20th. Oh, that's in like 11 days. Holy shit, boys! Oh fuck, I gotta finish Mirage Sessions. Damn, were you gonna pick it up on Switch, Sam, or PS4?
It's the Japanese version. The English version doesn't come out till later this year.
Oh.
I mean, you can try to get the Japanese version, but
I'm not able to read anything, Sam. What the fuck?
And then February is Mega Man Zero collection,
which
I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie. This box
they
art,
already have a Zero collection on Switch.
This box art for Scramble is clean as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
The Mega Man Zero X ZX collection is not out yet.
When are we getting our
February?
When are we getting?
Oh, I didn't realize it was a pre-order. My bad.
When are we getting the?
Yeah.
When are we getting the Battle Network collection?
That's I mean,
all I care about.
That's.
I'm tired of platformers. I want the Battle Network collection.
Look, there was some interviews recently with the.
You told me, and it's not gonna fucking happen, Sam. They don't care. I mean,
they're talking about it. So at least it's a possibility. You never know. I mean, that's the next step, right? Isn't it? Isn't it the next series that would be a collection? It would be the Battle Network.
Assuming Capcom does something intelligent.
They've been on a roll recently, so
yeah, that's only recently. I'm not getting my hopes up yet.
Oh.
They also made a lot of stupid mistakes recently.
There's a rumor that Street Fighter 6 might get announced this year.
I don't care about Street Fighter. They fucked that game sideways.
Yeah.
It really sucks. But
speaking of fighting games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is going to be at EVO this year. It's the 20th anniversary.
Didn't we talk about that last week too? I mentioned it?
Because they announced it this week.
Oh, okay.
And it's the 20th anniversary, and I'm wondering if they're going to do a re-release of that game. If they're going to release a collection. Because if they do, that'd be freaking amazing. That game is really, really good. I recently played it a few months ago at a barcade, and it was really fun. The stick sucked though. The stick was terrible to play with, but I will say that game is super fun, like just awesome, and I can't wait to watch Evo because this gonna be crazy.
All right, well, that was the news. We appreciate everyone for hanging out. Sam, Shawn, you guys can relate me anytime you need. Hit me up. But everyone tuning in, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Feel free to connect with us. Join the Discord. Join the Facebook groups. Start some discussions. We'd love to hear from you guys. And all that will be, again, in the description. You'll find timestamps. Always. There'll always be timestamps. Anything else down there be to help you guys out. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, though, with our outros. Boys.
Hugs and kisses and all your pink parts.
Sam. Oh boy, hitting the bong. Let's go.
Drink water. That's a very important. Drink water, or I'm gonna come punch your face. Get plenty of sleep. Brush your teeth, floss, put deodorant on, change your underwear every day. Yeah. Don't make me come get you.
I feel personally attacked. How about I come to you? I'm gonna come
I
over
wasn't
to you and
talking
I'm
to
gonna
you.
brush your teeth, bitch. How about that?
That'd be funny. I'm gonna come brush your teeth.
Bitch.
Oh, he like pins someone, like they're pinned to a bed. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna brush your teeth.
Yeah, bro.
Motherfucker.
That reminds me of
Monogatari.
oh yeah.
Oh,
That was the only
God.
thing I thought of. You know what you do? You put it to remind anyone of that scene if they've seen it. You put an egg and a toothbrush anywhere in the photo, and they're like, it's like almost like they're like a sleeper agent. They've been activated. Is the fucking egg and the toothbrush, and you'll think Monogatari instantly.
I've never seen anybody ever try and make something so decidedly non-sexual, disturbingly sexual.
Yeah, dude.
It's so confusing to me.
Yeah. It's like one of the. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like this dude, his dick gets hard and he slaps it with his hand? He's like, "No, bad." That's what it reminds me of. Like, I shouldn't be hard right now. Go back down. So,
I just don't. I don't understand. Even in the place of the entire show, I don't understand what he was trying to say there. Everything in that show is so intentional, and yet there's this one scene that you're just like, why? But why?
to sell figurines.
A toothbrush? There's no figurines based on
My
the scene.
dick got hard, Shawn. It doesn't have to be in the scene. It just has to be in the lady, bro. I don't even know her name. The sister.
I don't know. The
Was she the
author
one that
doesn't
gets
seem
fucked
like trying-
sideways, or was it the other one? One of them gets blown in half. Which one was it?
Mm.
Did she? She was the Phoenix girl. She had like 9 lives, or not, whatever. She was a Phoenix, so she got reborn or whatever.
Oh, you mean she was a bird? She wasn't a phoenix. It was a black bird. The younger sister is the one that was never actually their sister. Their sister was born, and
Okay, I didn't get any of that from watching that scene.
oh no, you know how like
I'm
all
so
the
fucking lost.
supernatural creatures are
Yeah,
all
yeah.
created from human flaws.
Yeah.
One of the types of creatures is this bird demon,
See, I thought she was like a
and
Phoenix.
it takes children and replaces them. It'll take your sister, and I don't remember if there was a little girl born and it replaced her,
It's like a reverse stork.
or if they just didn't have a sister. So, but the when the egg was laid for the bird demon, they just put the egg in their lives, because whatever it is, it rewrites history, so that in every single person's memory, they will remember this person as as having been born to them, when in reality it was just inserted in their lives as an infant or some shit like that. But his little sister, although she looks human, thinks he's human, and will never know otherwise, and will grow old and die as a human, she's actually another monster. She's a bird. Which then begs the question, how do they propagate their species if, when they're born, they don't know they're not human? But that's another question.
Yeah, I didn't. We're leave it any longer. We'd be in like in a full lecture on Monogatari because it's so fucking deep. But so
Yeah,
we're gonna.
there's 3 college papers I've read on it so far. These are treatises. These are like 800-page fucking report type things. I've read. I'm exaggerating. I don't think I read 800 pages, but it's fucking close. And I'm still like, out of all of us, I'm probably the closest to a foremost authority on that show, and it still confuses me.
Yeah.
I fucking love that show.
All right, boys. Before we go, I'm gonna leave y'all with a thought. Many oranges. Oranges.
God damn it, man.
Are actually green. While we assume that all oranges are orange in color because they're called, well, oranges, the fruit is often green when ripe, thanks to plenty of chlorophyll.